Now let us go to question number 21. Jin is playing card together with his friend Lin. He is asked to pick a red card. What is the probability that a black card can be picked by Jin? Is it A, 1/4, B, 1/2, C, 1/8, or D, 1/14? Okay, I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, my dear math learners, for this scenario, we are talking about the deck of cards. Okay, so Jin and Lin are playing the deck of cards. Now, if you can remember, in the deck of cards, we have a total of 4 sets of ace up to the king, right? Okay, so that is basically 13 cards. So, one set of 13 cards for clubs, another set for spades, another set for heart, and another set for diamonds. Now, the 2 hearts and diamonds are color red. So, we have a total of 52, and among that 52, half of that cards are red and half of those cards are black, because black are represented by the clubs and the spades. So, therefore, in order to pick a red card, you have 26 out of 52 cards as your probability. And if you simplify 26 out of 52, that is very good. That is 1/2. So in every 2 cards you pick, you have the probability that you can get a red card. Okay, so but the question here is black card, so still the same. Okay, because he is asked to pick a red card, but what is the probability that a card will be picked by Jin? So basically, they are just the same, because the number of black cards and the number of red cards in the deck of cards are the same. So that is 1/2. Okay, so 1/4 is wrong, 1/8 is wrong, and 1/14 is wrong. Alright, so let us go to question number 22. What is the sample space in tossing a die? Is it A, 6, B, 12, C, 24, or D, 36? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, math learners, talking about sample space, it is the possible outcomes. Okay, so therefore, if you have a die, that is dice in plural, if you have a die that has 6 faces, right? So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So therefore, there are only 6 outcomes, and that is the total outcomes, which is also known as sample space. So therefore, the correct answer here is letter A. Alright, so I hope you got that one, my dear math learners. Now, let's go to question 23. What method of counting is illustrated below? Apple, orange, bingo, apple, orange, pineapple, apple, orange, melon. Is it A, probability table, B, systematic listing, C, tree diagram, or D, fundamental counting principle? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, math learners, this is very simple. As you can see, it is made by listing. So therefore, the correct answer here is letter B, systematic listing. Okay, simple as that, my dear math learners. So of course, there are some questions that are very literal. So you just need to think that which of the following is the best answer for this given scenario. Now, let us go to question number 24. Johnny uses a certain method of knowing the sample space shown below. What is the method he used? Shown at the right. Okay, so we have here subject, and then it is arrowed with math, science, English, and Filipino. Is it A, probability table, B, systematic listing, C, tree diagram, or D, fundamental counting principle? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, math learners, as you can see in this example, it is a diagram. So basically, you don't need to complicate the question itself, because the example here is a diagram. The subject is connected to several subjects. So the correct answer here is tree diagram. Okay, so that is very simple, my dear math learners. Now let us go to question number 25. If Kaloy has 3 shirts, 2 pair of shoes, 3 pairs of socks, and 4 pants, which counting method is best to use to determine the number of combinations Kaloy may wear? Is it A, probability table, B, systematic listing, C, tree diagram, or D, fundamental counting principle? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, math learners. So as you can see here, this is a scenario in which the question being asked is which among the method is best to use to determine the number of combination. My dear math learners, the four given here are used in order to get the combinations of certain scenarios. However, what is asked here is the best, and it is not talking about what pairs will you come up with, but it talks about the number of combinations you can make from these pairs. Okay, so the best way to do that is very, very simple, my dear math learners, and that is the fundamental counting principles. Why? Because in the fundamental counting principles, what you need to do is you just multiply those numbers, 3 times 2 times 3 times 4, and that is the total number of combinations Kaloy can wear in his clothes. Okay, so A, B, and C are wrong. I hope you got that one, my dear math learners. Now let us go to question number 26. What is the probability of picking a heart card in a box with 5 spade cards, 2 club cards, 3 diamond cards, and 10 heart cards? Is it A, 1/2, B, 1/10, C, 2/5, or D, 0? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, math learners, so as you can see here, we are talking about the probability of picking a heart card in a box. So, how many heart cards are there? There are 10, right? But in a total, in the box, how many cards are there? So, we just need to count the number of cards in order to get the sample space. So, 5 plus 2 plus 3, that is 10. And then 10 plus 10, that is 20. So, in order to get a heart or to pick a heart from this 20 cards in total, that is 10 out of 20. And if you simplify 10 out of 20, the answer for that is, very good, 1/2. Alright, my dear math learners, we just answered this problem. We go now to question number 27. What is the probability of getting an even number when rolling a die? Is it A, 1/6, B, 2/3, C, 1/2, or D, 5/6? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, math learners, if you can remember, in a die, there are only 6 faces. There are the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, what is asked here in the problem is getting an even number. So, an even number is a number that is divisible by 2. So, therefore, 1 to 6, what are the number that are even on those numbers? So, that is 2, 4, and 6. So, that is 3 out of 6. So, 3 out of 6, if you simplify that to 1 or get the lowest term, that is also the same as our question earlier, that is 1/2. Okay, so the question here, or the answer for this question here, is letter C. Okay, we are correct, my dear math learners. Now, let us go to question number 28. When 2 coins are flipped, what is the probability of getting 2 tails? Is it A, 1, B, 1/4, C, 1/2, or D, 2? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, my dear math learners, now, remember we have here the scenario of 2 coins, okay? So, if you have 2 coins, let's just think about 1 coin. In a 1 coin, there are 2 possibilities, the tail and the head, right? Okay. Now, in another coin, we have the tail and the head. Now, if this have 2 scenarios, now you will be simultaneously flip them. Okay, so the number of outcomes will become doubled because the 2 outcomes here and the 2 outcomes here, we will multiply them. So that is 4, right? Okay, but in the given scenario, having or getting 2 tails, there could only be 1. Why? Because in the 2 coin flip, you can have heads heads, tail heads, heads tail, and head head. Okay, so those are the 4 scenarios in the 2 flip coins. So therefore, talking about 2 tails, you only have 1 out of 4 scenarios. Okay, so the correct answer is letter B. Alright, so I hope you got that one, my dear math learners. Now let us go to question number 29. A basket has 3 apples, 5 pineapples, 2 durian, 2 watermelons, and 4 avocado. What is the probability of picking a pineapple? Okay, is it A, 3 out of 16, B, 5 out of 16, C, 1/2, or D, 1 out of 16? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, math learners, we just need to consider the outcomes and the sample space. So the sample space is the total of the given fruits in a basket. So 3, 5, 2, 2, and 4, if you add them together, that is 16. But the question here is picking a pineapple. So how many pineapples are there? So that is 5. So there are 5 out of 16. So therefore, the correct answer is letter B. Ayan. Okay, so we are correct, my dear math learners. So I hope you got that one. Now, let us go to question number 30. Okay, so a basket, okay, the same scenario but different question. What is the probability of picking an avocado? Okay, is it A, 1/16, B, 5/16, C, 1/4, or D, 1/2? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about your answer. Okay, math learners, so as you can see here, now the question is focused on avocado. So still we have 16 fruits total in a basket. So how many out of those fruits are avocado? So we have 4. So that is 4 out of 16. However, 4 out of 16 is 4 over 16 and it is reducible into its lowest term. So 4 out of 16 is basically 1/4. You can divide the numerator and denominator by its greatest common factor, which is 4. So you have 1/4. Okay, so the correct answer is letter C. Alright, my dear math learners. Now, we already finished 30 questions. So, it means that you already finished the 3 parts of our reviewer series. So, congratulations, my dear math learners. By doing so, you just click the subscribe button and you can have more ideas for this one. Okay, now let us go to question number 31 and we are down to our last part. Okay.